So this is what we're using today. And this is a nice big one, if you can see how big it is. Usually the ones I get are much smaller than this, but my son got a package in this and I said, oh, I want that immediately. So he opened it and let me have it. Hi, Dawn. Making bed throw pillows today. Fun. I wish, you know, that's one thing, Dawn, that I don't sew well, which is probably kind of a disappointment to my mom. Hi, Serena, because she was, I mean, just a seamstress, really. She was so good, and I just never picked up on sewing. I think it's just because I just didn't enjoy it. So, but I can hot glue with the best of them. So, but that sounds like fun, making bed throw pillows. That way you get exactly the kind of pillow that you want. Hi, Maria, because it's really hard to find pillows that I like. I don't know about you guys. Hi, Carol. Okay, so we're gonna start with just this Amazon mailer, and I'm leaving the top on here where he tore it open and everything. So we're gonna start with it like this, you guys, and then the back of it I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna worry about painting that because I am gonna hang it. And if you wanted the back, you could use this as the back if you wanted to, but I think I'm gonna do it like this. So I'm just going to paint this front side of it. And we're going to use some Waverly Ivory chalk paint. And I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. I love chalk paint because I think it really gives you good coverage. And when you're crafting, and especially when I'm going live, you know, I don't want to sit here and have to add 3 and 4 coats on something because it's kind of boring to watch somebody paint, I think. So I want the best coverage. So I always use my chalk paint, and I just use Waverly. You can use any color you want. And if you don't have chalk paint, you could certainly use acrylic. Like I said, it's probably just going to take a few more coats to get your coverage. And this is a pretty good size surface, but hopefully it won't take too long. Hi, Carrie, from Mr. Wardenhold's old stomping grounds, Hilton. Good old Hilton, Oklahoma. I will tell him. I'll have to tell him, Carrie. Good old Hilton. You know, a funny story is we serve on our host, we call it a host team at my church. Hi, Diane. And there's been a couple that have been serving on our team. We're the coaches, which basically just means we try to get everybody checked in because everybody has to be checked in. They have to have a tag on, you know, all that good stuff. And there's been a couple that's been serving on our host team for, good grief, I don't know, at least a year, maybe 2. And I just found out that he is from my hometown, but he was a little bit older than me, so he was more the age of my cousins, and so I didn't even know. But yeah, small world. Sorry, I just kind of squirreled on that one and got distracted. But just you talking about Hilton, how sometimes we can run into people that are from our hometown and we don't even know it. Okay, so we're just going to keep painting. And I'm going to let this kind of... I'm not going to paint all the way to the edges. I'll let you see. I'm going to leave this brown edge right here because I am going to add some Distress ink. You could, if you wanted to darken it up, which I like to darken stuff up, and I like for it to kind of look shabby and distressed and maybe even a little dirty sometimes. So I use Distress ink. You can also use the Waverly antiquing wax that you find at Walmart alongside the paint over there, the chalk paint. So just anything like that. And you may not want to darken it, but if you're like me, I kind of like to do that. So, okay, so let's keep going. I'm not worried about, like I said, those edges. So I'm not going to stress out too much about it. And I am going to have something, I'm going to put something on top of this. So if it's not 100% covered, it's not that big of a deal. We just want to get pretty good coverage. Okay. I think in talking about those pickup lines, Carrie, you know, my kids are adults now, but good grief, I remember those days. the pickup days, and if you're in a hurry to get somewhere after school, you had to like get there early so you could get in the front of the line. Because I know you guys that have school-age kids or remember back to having school-age kids, I always tried, I mean, you can't always do it, but I tried to get appointments like right after school, like dentist appointments or doctor's appointments. And that school pickup line can get long. And you guys know that. And we got some people, because I drive by during the day, and there's people that get there to line up like an hour before school lets out. I'll see them already starting to line up. I do not miss that. Just gonna say. Okay. So just a basic. We'll dry this down a little bit. You can see I still have some brown peeking through. We're gonna dry that down just a tad, and then we'll see if we need to add some more. And if you're just hopping on, this is just an old Amazon mailer. All it is. And we're gonna repurpose it into something cute or pretty for the home. We'll dry that down. And I really just kind of jumped into this, you guys, so I hope everyone's having a good day. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, tell me where you're watching from, tell me something good about your day, just anything just to let us know that you are here. Okay. So maybe just a little bit more paint on here. Okay. Dry that. I remembered my water today, so no dried paint in my paintbrushes. Yay! I'm just kind of touching up a few spots here. And we are going to be, when we move ahead, I'll tell you. You could use different colors on here. I'm going to tell you a different idea than what I'm doing, just in case you wanted to try something different. But there are so many great ideas and so many fun ways to use these little mailers that, and if you're getting them anyway in the mail, what a great way to repurpose them. Okay, let's put just a little bit more paint up here. And I think that's all we're gonna do. Hi, Nancy from Midwest City. Hey, friend, we're gonna get Carol from Brooklyn. We are gonna be getting some severe weather in the next couple of days that I saw, so all my Okie friends, you guys, maybe not the next couple of days, maybe next week, but I know we've got, it's kind of looking up to where the extended forecast, they think we may have some bumpy days here in Oklahoma weather-wise. So just everybody be paying attention. I know you are. But here where I live, in my town, we had a tornado, a small tornado. I think they said it was an F1. Hi, Kelly. A couple weeks ago, and it kind of snuck up on us, you guys, and that's kind of scary. Hi, Vivian from South Carolina, because I always feel like we have really good notification, and we have really good, our weathermen and women are so good about staying on top of it, and with our radar and everything, they do a great job letting us know it's coming. But this one was scary because by the time the sirens went off, it was already on top of us. So I know, Dawn, I'm not either. Hey, Darlene. High 70s. That sounds like a gorgeous day. Yeah, Nancy, is a little bit cooler today. We got a little bit of rain earlier. Yeah, hopefully no tornadoes. I know. You cleaned out your tornado shelter. It's a good idea. We don't have one. We just get underneath the stairs, so it's always just a mad dash. If we think we need to be in there, you yank everything out and jump in there. Hi, Patricia. Okay. But yeah, I talked to, it did not come, it was about a mile from us, so we were safe, but it hit a neighborhood pretty hard that we have lots of friends that live there, so definitely could be scary. So we always want to be on the lookout. Okay. So we just have basic coverage, okay? It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect for what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna, and then see, you can, if you want, I mean, we'll probably tuck some stuff in here when we get towards the end of it. Okay, but for right now, we've got it painted. And I am going to be hanging this, and it's going to hang like this. Okay, so keep that in mind. And now, I just have some material. I shared a reel earlier where I made just a fabric bow. I don't know if you guys saw that, but if you didn't, check that out. It was just a fabric messy bow, and I really love those. And so I had this material. This is just the Waverly material from Walmart, and you can buy it in packages. I think it's like $4 or something. And so I bought quite a bit of it. I bought like several packages, and so I thought I'm just going to use some of that. So I tore this piece. And I don't know how big it is, you guys. So you're just gonna, whatever your package is, if you wanna do this, you're going to cut your material or tear it to fit your package size, okay? So what we're gonna do is it's gonna just kind of lay on here like this. And so I don't even really care. The whole reason that I painted the underside of this was because I didn't want that brown coming through my material. So that's why you see you only need just a basic coverage. Now the other idea that I was talking about earlier, if you don't have material, you just have paint, then you could just paint this like a flag. If you wanted to do a flag, just paint your red stripes on here. Oh, you have one that you got this morning? Perfect timing. So we're going to adhere this material first, okay? And I think the easiest way to do that is we're just gonna use some Mod Podge, and we're gonna iron this thing on here. Okay, so you'll need, if you wanna do this method, you'll need your Mod Podge, you'll need to dry this down, and then you'll just need an iron. I have a mini iron, but you could use a regular sized iron. Just make sure that it's not too hot, right? You know, keep your temperature a little bit lower. And I still see a little bit wet spot right here on my paint, so I'm gonna dry that. So far, we've just used our Amazon mailer, some paint, okay, and then we've got some material. But like I said, don't have material, don't worry. And if you have a good material stash, just use, and you have some red and, you know, some that are basic colors of the flag, just use that. Hey, Jerry. Thank you, girl. I need to have it colored. It's dark. Talking about my hair, and you could probably see my gray kind of peeking through up there. I need to go have it colored, but it's just one of those things that I have not, you know, I just haven't taken time to do that lately. But I try to blonde it. I try to add a little bit more blonde in the summertime, and the blonde covers the gray. So there's that. Okay, so we're going to just take our Mod Podge, and I'm messy. I just kind of sling it on here. We're going to be covering most of this area because the material is going to cover most of this. I probably should have named my, I should have named my craft page The Messy Crafter maybe instead of Word and Home, but because I am pretty messy. But it's okay because I always have fun, and that's what matters. Okay, so we're going to give all of this a pretty good coat, and then we'll dry it down. And that way, when we use our iron on here, it's going to kind of reactivate this Mod Podge, the heat from the iron, and then it will cause our material to adhere to our package. Okay. So we've got a good coverage there. Now let's dry this down. And I did coffee soak my material. I don't know if you can tell or not. Probably not as well as I can in person. But I like I was saying earlier, I like my projects to kind of have a distressed aged look. So typically on all my material, I just coffee soak it. And that just means I just usually I have a Keurig, and I usually just run some coffee through my morning coffee grounds that I've already had, and I just dip my material in there and soak it and lay it out to dry. That's all that means. It's super simple. You could use tea for that. Some people add vanilla just to kind of mask that coffee smell if they don't like the coffee smell. It doesn't bother me, so I usually just do coffee. But that's all that means. And some people add cinnamon. There's just all kinds of things you can do. I got that Mod Podge on there pretty thick. It's taking just a minute for it to dry. Oh, we got just enough rain earlier to make it hot, sticky, and humid. I do have my ceiling fan going though, so that helps. If you don't want to do a flag, there are so many things you can do. I was thinking earlier, you could make this look like an oversized seed packet for, like, I think that would be cute too. And then you could put flowers coming out, do like flower seed packet. If I get another one, I might try that. I think that would be a really sweet little idea. Hang it out in your garden or on your porch. Okay. So we've got all that. And I always try to frame my edges as much as I can. I kind of lose patience, but I have a nice little frayed edge. So I just, you know, pulled little strings out of here. I was going to see if there's one loose that I could show you, but I think I've got them all. So it's got nice frayed edges. Now, just going to kind of center this on there the best that I can. And if the edges stick up a little bit, even better, because I was kind of wanting the edges to stick up, but we'll see. So I've got that on there. I've got my little mini iron. We'll turn that on and let that heat up. But like I said, you don't have to have a mini iron, you guys. You can use any iron. Hi, Carol. Okay, that's heating up. And then you can buy the big roll of parchment paper. And this really isn't big enough for this, but it's what I've got in here. I keep these in my craft room. I buy these at the Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna have to move this around, which is not the best, but we're gonna make it work because that's what I've got in here. So I'll just put a piece of parchment paper down, and then I'm just gonna kind of iron this. You probably could iron on top of the material, honestly. I don't think it's gonna hurt it. We're going for the distressed look anyway. You just don't want to fire. And people that have been watching me for a while know that my last little mini iron, the cord got frayed. And I think I was doing this because this is usually all I use it for. And I had sparks flying. So watch your cord on your irons. And don't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna get all of these edges down. This was a big mailer. Okay. Now let's look. Okay. So we've got nicely adhered on here. Okay. And now we're going to use just I had some blue with polka dots. Okay, so, and I thought about this, and I thought about adding some little stars on here, and you totally can do that. I think I'm just going to leave mine just blue with the polka dots, okay? And don't come at me. I'm just saying that this is not an accurate flag, because I know it's not. And I've had people before when I did projects like this get upset with me, but this is just for fun, okay? So this is just kind of a little whimsical flag that is just for fun. It's not an accurate American flag. Not saying that any of you guys would come at me, but just a kind of a precursor there so people, somebody watching later doesn't get upset with me. This is called art, I guess. Okay. Oh shoot, I wasn't thinking. I need to put some more Mod Podge down. Darlene, the material is from Walmart, and it's just the Waverly. Over in at my Walmart, in the material section, they have the small. It's like 1 yard of material wrapped. They have like 1 yard and 2 yards, and that's where I got this. Okay, so we need to put some more of this down. I'm just going to put, for this, I'm just going to put the Mod Podge on the back. And we're going to stick it on there. Okay? And then we'll use our iron and we'll go on top of it. Just to dry it. Okay. Just a little bit more. These are fun. I mean, these little flags are all over Pinterest, different ways that you can do them. And I have some over on the blog, some little mini flags where I use sticks from the backyard. It's just a whimsical, patriotic, and you're welcome, darling. And I love the little whimsical, I love patriotic decor, the red, white, and blue. Honestly, and I guess you could maybe call it kind of like Americana too. I could use this in my home year round. I love it. So it's just one of these different types, in my opinion, that you don't just have to use one time a year. You could leave it out all year. Okay. So there's this. And if you have little wood stars, you could certainly attach those too. I think that would be that'd be really cute. And I toyed with that idea. I went back and forth. Okay. Now, so, oh man, you guys, I hung this on here wrong. It's okay, I can fix it. So I want it to hang like this, and I put this on the wrong end, but no worries, because I can still hang it this way. We'll just cut the slit off this top, and we'll glue the bottom. Thank you, Nancy. I do too. It's just, so if you make a mistake, no worries. It's okay. We can fix it, right? Because I was talking and I made a mistake, but I'm just going to glue the bottom. With some hot glue. I'm going to glue this back on here. Okay. So now we've got that. And we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut the top. So no worries. If you learn anything here, hopefully you learn how to make the mistakes that you make. Because I do make mistakes. Okay. Okay. So we're going to hang it like that. Okay. Now, I want to darken it up a little bit. Let me turn my iron off so I don't burn myself. And this is really, I like this wax, this Behr wax. So you can use this. I'll probably use my distressing ink a little bit too. we're just gonna darken it up a little bit. So we're gonna take our lid off of our wax. Do you guys, let me know, do you like the patriotic decor and the red, white, and blue? Some people don't like it, you know, and that's okay. But it's probably after Christmas, the 4th of July, maybe one of my favorite holidays. Okay. So just kind of, I'm going to kind of go over the edges and the sides. I think we might just cover the whole flag. The whole flag and this stuff. Try to get most of it off there, but so just darken it out just a little bit. We'll add a little bit more to these edges to really darken these. Do a little bit more over here. And just as little or as much or whatever, you know, you can just make this, make it your own. Just a little bit more up here. Okay, and I am going to punch some holes in there. So that's what we've got. Thanks, Nancy. I like the I just like the stain. I really do. Really like it. So now I think I'm going to do maybe some stamping on here. I'm just kind of going with it. And then I know I need to punch some holes in here for hanging. So I'm going to do that before I add I got a bow I want to add on here. So let's see. I don't know if I can stamp through this material. We'll find out. I may have to just cut a hole in there. Oh, don't. It let me. Okay. Now let's stamp it through the back of it. And this is just a little, I have just a little hole punch, but could use a bigger one too. Okay. So we've got our holes on the back and the front. And I'll probably just use regular jute like this. I think we'll go ahead and add the hanger on there. Just to kind of see what it's gonna look like. We may double this up just so it's a little bit thicker. Let's see if we can get both of these through the hole here. Let me see. Let's just use something I keep these little wood skewers on hand just because they are great to help you with stuff like this. Just kind of push that through there. Okay, we're going to tie a few. some of that. You could also use like the Dollar Tree. They have that heavier duty nautical rope. I think I've used all of mine, but it's kind of a lighter, kind of a white cream color. That would be cute. I think that would look really nice on here. Okay, I'm gonna tie one more knot. I'm gonna have to stick that down a little bit better. But whatever, wire, old rusty wire would be really cool on this. Just whatever you have on hand. This year I have really been trying to not go buy stuff, you know, when I have an idea and want to craft. I've really been trying to just use what I've got. So that's not always easy. For me anyway. Okay, we'll take the end of our skewer here again. Don't poke yourself in the eye. Poke that through there. Okay, so we're gonna have a nice little hanger here. I'm gonna try to get this as close to the end as possible so I can have more to pull up there. So what do you guys, so we just had Easter. How are you decorating right now? I'm curious. I was just thinking about that today. What's everybody doing? Are you still just using the spring stuff? I still have all my Easter stuff out. And I haven't changed anything up yet, but curious if you still have your Easter stuff up, or if you've already changed out to spring or patriotic, or what you got out. Okay, so that's what we've got. We got our hanger on there. Oh, Donna said lemons. Don't say that. I know, Nancy, but I've got glasses on, so I have a little bit of eye protection. So lemons. I like lemons, Donna. I have some lemons too. Those are so great for summertime. Okay, so this is on here. Let me think. Let's do our bow next. And I just have more of this material that I've torn into strips. Oh, Serona says lemons and limes. I like that. Those are perfect for summertime. So I'm not going to use all of these. And I mean, this is obviously that would be a really big bow for this project. But we're going to take some of them. And then I don't know if we need that one. And then my blue is a little bit thick, so I think we might cut this in half, or I might tear it. And these are all still just strips of that material that I bought at Walmart, and it goes a long way, you guys. It really does. I still have plenty in my stash to use on other projects. So okay, so now we're just gonna, and when you tear these by hand, you're gonna be able to fringe these sides out so easily because they're just naturally, the threads are just naturally gonna come off there. So if you like the fringed look, if you don't like the fringed look, you don't want to tear them. Okay, this is another material, and it's that same, it's the Waverly. The Americana stuff. I'm putting out this. Yeah. Nancy, I've left it. I've left my 4th of July or Americana stuff out until Christmas before. I have, because I like it that much. So we're going to gather these together. And I think I'm only going to use one strip of the blue. I don't think I'm going to use both of those. And I'm trying to decide how we're going to make this little bow. We might just tie it. Let's just see what this looks like. And when I say tie it, I mean I'm just going to tie it like I would a shoelace, okay? And we're going to see. We'll see what that, dang it. We'll see what that looks like. Because sometimes, depending on what your project is, The bows like that, I think, are really cute. Okay. And if you struggle with bows, anybody can do that. If you can tie your shoes, you can make one of these, okay? So just a simple little bow like that. And we could just just attach it right over here on the side. And I'm I'll cut some of that material off. And you just fluff out your little bow. And you can glue it, hot glue it wherever you want it on there. Okay, so it'll look something kind of like that. I do almost feel like this needs some white stars on it now that I'm looking at it. What do you guys think? I feel like it does. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you say it definitely needs some stars. Okay, we'll keep these because those little material scraps, you never know what you can use them for. Thank you, Darlene. Thanks, Nancy. Okay, we're just going to hang this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this on here. And I have another little idea for something that we could do on the white ribbon. And this is made on an Amazon mailer. So here's my thoughts on that. My porch is so windy sometimes and stuff gets blown around. And I really try to keep up with it. But when I hang stuff out there, I really have to secure it because I don't want it to get blown away. But with this one, I don't want to lose it, but obviously, if the Oklahoma wind takes it, it's just a mailer. So that's kind of how I look at it. So when you repurpose something like this and it's, I don't know, that's just always, like I said, a plus to me. I know I didn't spend a fortune on it, but it's cute. Okay. So got a little bow on there. What I'm thinking is we're going to stamp, hi Sue, we're stamp a word on this longest piece right here, okay? Because I was wanting to stamp something on here. I didn't know if I wanted to stamp it on the bottom or, you know what. So I have my stamps out. And I think I'm just going to stamp something simple like USA on there, but you could do whatever you wanted. You could, you know, Liberty, God Bless America, just any of that. And I think I'll use my Distress ink for that. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Thank you, guys. Super duper easy and fun, you know? Just a lot of fun to put things like this together. Okay. This is kind of subtle. You might want to, you could use darker ink. I'll let you guys know. I mean, I'll let you see it and see what you think. It's pretty subtle. I got that one a little bit darker. Okay. So I've just got USA on there. Like I said, you could stamp Liberty, just all, you know, all the words that you wanted to on there. Thank you, Vivian. Thanks, Sue. This one is, I just did a video on this one, so recently. So you should be able to find that on my Facebook page. Okay, so what do you think? I don't know. I don't have any little stars that I can think of. I'd like to maybe put some little white stars on here because I feel like this corner, I feel like that needs them. Or maybe buttons. What do you think? Do you think buttons would work on there, or should I wait for stars? What do you guys think about that? I have a slew of buttons. Just a whole bunch of little white buttons that we could put on there. Thank you, Diane. And we could just hot glue them on there. I kind of like the buttons. I'm not gonna lie. Could randomly put some on there. What do you guys think? Let's try one. Glue, glue, glue. That's kind of cute. Okay. What do y'all think? But buttons, okay. Nancy said buttons. Jenny said buttons. Okay. And we're just gonna randomly put them on there. Okay. Again, not an accurate flag. Some people get, every year at this time, I usually have somebody who mentions it. Like, I know it's not. It's just a fun, it's just a fun craft. It's just a whimsical flag. And not, when people make these little whimsical flags, they're not trying to be disrespectful, it's just something fun to put on there. Okay, then we're just gonna put, these are all different sizes that I've got in here. I think the buttons kind of add that nice little whimsical touch that I was missing. Oh, thank you guys. Make the shape of a star. Oh, that would be a good idea, Vivian. I've already messed up, but that would be cute. Vivian said, add the buttons in the shape of a star. That's a cute idea. Making a big old mess with my hot glue. Like I said, messy crafter. Sometimes I go to the store and I look down and I've got like paint all over my hands, or some hot glue stuck to my fingernail. Just what it is. It is what it is. I'll add a few more on there. Maybe put just some small ones here and there. I don't know how I ended up with so many white buttons. I think I bought this jar at a garage sale. So I'll never need white buttons. I'll never need to buy white buttons. There's some really cute ones in here too. Hey, Carol. Almost missed your comment. I'm looking at my buttons. Okay. Okay, almost done. What y'all think? That's pretty cute. We might add a few more tiny buttons on there, but I like that. That turned out pretty cute. Oh, I love you too. You guys say hello to my mother-in-law. She's on here. Sweet, sweet, sweet mother-in-law. Okay. Let's put just a few more. I have little tiny ones that are kind of perfect for that. Okay, now the only other thing you could put, if you wanted to put, like, I do have some big rusty stars. You could put a rusty star here in the center of your bow if you wanted to. You could put something across the bottom. Hi, Sandy. But since we cut that top open, what I'm thinking is, now I'm trying to get my little bow to hang right here. Since I want that white one, since it's stamped, I think we'll add just a little smidge of glue right here, just to kind of hold it in place. So not too noticeable, but that way it won't kind of get, my USA won't kind of get lost in the shuffle maybe. Now it's going to get covered. Okay. And then this, what? I don't know what I could stamp on that. I'm going to have to think about that. But I think I'll stamp on this smaller white piece too. Okay, so now we opened, this is cut open, so I have some greenery, just some regular old greenery. I think we'll tuck some of that in there and kind of let that stick out the top. Let's see what that looks like. And you could put polyfill in here. Let's see if I've got some polyfill. I do. Just to kind of hold that bag open a little bit better. You don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. And then that'll kind of hold it open. And we'll just kind of stick our greenery. Maybe a little bit more. Hey, Jackie. Yes. Be sure to watch the replay. This is just a Amazon mailer, you know, that we would, I, if, you know, would probably throw away if I didn't, you know, repurpose it for crafting. Okay, so we could just, whatever you want. You have favorite greenery, you just, whatever you want to stick in there. Okay, but that's cute. How cute did that turn out? Just your little flag. We put our little buttons on there. We've got our little messy bow. And you could add your own touch to it. You could stamp on this, or, you know, you could even add more strips of material on here with patriotic words stamped on there. Just whatever you want to do to it. Okay, guys, have a good rest of your day and a good evening. Thanks for hanging with me. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.